Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a great topic for today's show in which it is Joe Manchin actually makes a good point in regards to the child tax credit issue. So let's get right into this. And I'm sure everybody out there has heard about uh, Joe Manchin and that how um, he stalled the Build Back Better uh, bill from fully being passed because of the fact that he has the issue with the child tax credit thing. And all the Democrats are really mad that at Joe Manchin for doing this. But here's the thing. Um, Joe Manchin actually makes a valuable point. He makes a very good point in regards to the child tax credit issue, in which Joe Manchin even just stipulated that one of his constituents wrote to him stipulating that his constituent's daughter basically pisses away the money that she receives in the child tax credit for her child. And so basically, Joe Manchin just wants to make sure that they make a way for for the government to send out the child tax credit money to the people, but he wants it to be done in a way that to make sure that the parents are not spending that money foolishly, right? Um, and actually just spending that money for their child. So he makes a valuable point. Now I understand the frustration that the Democrats are having because they just want this Build Back Better bill to be passed already and so forth. But Joe Manchin actually makes a valuable point, and he just wants to make sure that the child tax credit money is not being used the wrong way or foolishly by the parents, and that that money is actually only being spent on their child. You know, because with many programs, with many government programs, unfortunately, many people do the really wrong things with the money that they're given, and they're not supposed to be doing these things. Like many people spend it on cigarettes, alcohol, even at some points they try to um, turn that money into cash so that they can go out and buy street drugs. So, and this has been happening with many different government programs. Um, but he just wants to make sure that, with regard to this, that the child is actually getting that money. That this meaning that the parents are actually spending that money on their child for their child's needs. Like it could be for medicine for their child, maybe clothing for their child, something like that. So, I mean, I have an idea that I would throw out to the politicians, and perhaps maybe they can put that money on a card, right? And just say this card can only be used to purchase uh, certain items for your child, and that money cannot be used for anything else. And um, so, and work with something like that, and to make sure that that card could be used maybe only at certain stores or certain pharmacies and stuff like that, or you know, just to try to do the best that they can to try to make sure that the money's not being spent on illegal drugs or cigarettes or alcohol or something like that. and that money is actually going towards the needs for their child. So, so I have to say, Joe Manchin actually makes a very valuable point. Now, here's the other thing I would say. Okay, if this is the part that Joe Manchin has the issue with, and if the rest of the Democrats say, okay, listen, if we put it on a card and that card can only be used for certain items and at certain places, and just to make sure that the money's only going for that child, um, would he be okay with that? And then if they say yes, if they make the agreement to agree to uh, resolve that issue, Joe Manchin would have to then agree to vote for yes for passing the Build Back Better bill. You know, because it can't be, hey, listen, Joe, if we agree to fix that issue to a better way to make just to make sure that the child is getting that the money that is going towards their child, if we do that, um, will you give us your vote for yes um to passing the bill back better? Joe Manchin can't say, well, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. Can't be like that. It's You gotta say, listen, if you guys can fix this child tax credit part of the situation, then yes, I would definitely give you my vote yes to pass the Build Back Better bill and stuff like that. That's the way you gotta do it, you know, and work together, hear each other out, you know. And while we're on this topic, I have to say that um, on both sides of the aisle, both Democratic and Republican, okay, they both sides of the aisle, many of them say, okay, everybody just has to agree with whatever we decide, and you got to agree with us no matter what, and you got to just follow us, and that's it. That happens on both sides of the aisle, not just Democratic, not just Republican, both sides. And, that's why even on both sides of the aisle, you know, many of their fellow Republicans and Democrats would actually turn against their own party and have the guts to say, like, listen, I don't agree with this for whatever reason, and they would separate from their own party. It happens on both sides of the aisle, not just one or the other. You know, so you can't just blame one particular party. Now, um, so we just got to come to an agreement. We got to listen to one another. And yes, I understand the frustration of things being procrastinated, but you got to listen to one another and resolve all these other issues and just get the job done. So, but anyways, that's my suggestion to the politicians up in Washington and basically everywhere else too. You know, just because somebody disagrees with you on something, you don't go, "Oh my God, he's against everybody," or you just have to always agree to whatever we want all the time. Listen, that's not how things work. Not everybody's going to agree with you on everything. Not everybody's going to like what you like, and so on and so forth. And you just got to talk things out. And you got to do it in a timely fashion. And that's what's going on right now. So I actually give credit to Joe Manchin for stepping up and saying this. But now's the time for them to say, listen, if we do fix this part, do we have your vote yes to passing the Build Back Better bill? And Joe Manchin has to say yes at this point. And so um, that's the proper way of doing things, ladies and gentlemen. All All right. So, but anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY, and the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all the products on there, and all the products that you see on there, we actually make ourselves. And I also wanted to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And on the home page of the website, which is the first page, you will see the link to my internet store on Zazzle.com, in which I designed a lot of products and they're up for sale on there. Also, on the home page of my website of Advocate Information Highway, you will see the links to the two books that I wrote. If you guys follow those links, you guys can check out both of my books, and you guys can also purchase both of my books as well. And so, with that, I wish everybody from here at Equality and Rights for All, from AWLDNY, from Advocate Information Highway, we want to wish everybody out there a safe and happy holidays. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.